Dane, what's this weekend like, knowing that there's a big rival coming into the building?
Yeah, it's one of the most exciting weekends of the year. Obviously, just the history of the rivalry. Just ton of respect for their program. Just over the years, there's been so many great battles, and you're excited. I think our guys are fired up for the challenge, and just know what it means to our university. So they'll be ready to play.
You have a lot of new guys. Do they know what it means yet?
Yeah, we've been talking about it a little bit. We've been kind of filling in the gaps on some guys. I think, they get bits and pieces. But, we've been kind of definitely talking to them about the importance of, the rivalry. And, we always, day to day, we're talking about our process and what we do. But let's be honest, there's no question there's a little extra juice, and boys are extra dialed and extra focused and ready to battle. They know, they just know the historical importance of it. So, we always talk about, adding to the tradition, making people proud in this building, and, to whom much is given, much is expected. So we'll be ready.
There's going to be lots of energy in the building. How do you want your guys to channel it?
Yeah, just a little bit of that controlled emotion. I kind of liken it to playoff games, where you're fired up and you're on the edge, but it's just kind of that balance of not going over the edge and not making any silly plays. You want to play extremely hard and be competitive and add value in whatever your role is, but you got to be smart about it. You got to kind of you can't get too wrapped up in it. You got to make sure you're playing at a good kind of high level, but not over the top.
Now that you've had a few days to maybe go back and watch the St. Thomas series, and any big takeaways that you had from how you guys played in that series? Or
yeah, there was a lot of good things. Like we said, we kind of focused on the fact that we had good competitiveness. Everybody was engaged and ready to play. Some of our puck play decisions I thought got better on the second night. I didn't think we managed the puck very well on Friday, but I thought it was much better on Saturday. Didn't think we were really great breaking out pucks and coming to the neutral zone. I thought St. Thomas did a good job of kind of, checking and kind of making it hard to have organized entries and stuff. But overall, I take lots of the good. I think I mentioned it earlier. One of the real positive takeaways for me was the fact that when we got scored on, we had a great shift next shift. And then we stacked up good shifts again and scored ourselves, So just kind of that, that punch back after you get punched to really kind of just say, all right, that's fine, no problem. Let's get back after it and kind of stick with the process. I thought was really good.
Just the fact that this rivalry now gets 4 more years of it, what does it mean that this gets to continue even though you're not conference opponents?
Yeah, I always say it's bigger than the coaches or the players that are involved at the moment. It's history of whatever, almost 80 years of it going on. So I just think it's kind of one of the special things about playing in North Dakota is this weekend. There's obviously so much just natural rivalry of guys that have played against each other, and it's bigger than any individual. It's just a really cool tradition between the two schools and programs, and it's special. It's why you want to line up and play. It's just when the moments are the biggest. We talk about wanting to have guys that are gamers and guys that are competitive and want the challenge of the pressure of it, and that's kind of the best part about why you play the game. You just say, hey, let's prepare as well as we can and let the chips fall where they may. We're excited about the battle and just can't wait to get into the fight.
I want to ask, excuse me, a lot of attention's been on your fourth line for obvious reasons, but since they're assisting to one another, they're plus 13 already through 2 games. Can you just kind of talk about maybe the chemistry that we're seeing from them that's not necessarily just the scoring? Like I said, the fact they're plus 13.
Yeah, they're kind of driving possession just by their smart puck play. They come through the neutral zone, and sometimes they make some skilled plays, and quite often they take what the game gives them, and that's just advancing it and then getting on with a tenacious forecheck. And then from there, they make good plays. They get to the net. They get tips and rebounds and screens. They make it hard in that critical area. They get there. They don't play perimeter hockey. So I just think the fact that they all got some elements. Cody Crowell's skating is extremely good. Zakreski skates really, really well, and they're tenacious guys. I think Cade has kind of high-level stick skills and brain. So they all kind of have some elements, but they're all playing direct and hard, and they're playing on the inside, and they're just giving themselves a chance to to play in the offensive zone, and then once they get in the offensive zone, they get to the net and play on the inside.
I know it's first year at the helm, but it's not your first time playing against Minnesota. What kind of memories come to your mind from your playing days? Does your 4-goal game kind of come to mind? What comes to mind?
I mentioned that to Chiz the other day. He couldn't believe it, but no, that was a fun game for me personally, obviously, and I was just kind of a player that was kind of building my book here a little bit. So it was a big chance for me to play well in a big game and earn trust with my coaches. Just all the games. I probably actually remember some of the games more coaching that we've had. Probably some of the big Final Five games. Some of the big games in their rink really come to mind. When I think 2006 when we were down there with Taves and Oshie and Dunk and those guys. Just so many cool memories. There's some tough losses where they Wheeler's goal and on Phil. So there's just so many good ones. You just kind of feel fortunate to be part of the history of it. Feel extremely privileged and humbled to get to walk into this building every day and be part of it. And then when you get to be kind of part of good teams that have had great wins and have really stepped up in those big moments, it's you feel proud to be part of it and part of the tradition, and you just want to keep that going. We talked with our guys today about Chris Ingolstadt and her family being here, and just the biggest thing that we always say is just if we compete and we battle and we play hard, we know we'll make everybody proud around here. Everybody always wants to win, but as long as we have those kind of foundations of our identity, we know we'll have a good performance.
I know you've kind of touched on how special this is to you, but for you being at the helm, leading this group into this renewed rivalry, knowing the history of it and how much it means to the fan base and all of that, how cool is that for you as well?
Yeah, it's, I've said this kind of before too, whether I'm an assistant coach, associate coach, or head coach or player, we just all give so much to this program, and your commitment and sacrifice that everybody gives. It doesn't matter if I'm at the top or anybody else. Everybody's in it and giving their all and battling. So I don't know if my care or pride really is any higher this year than any other year. It's just, you're always just trying to do everything you can to give yourselves the best chance to win.
I know it's a different era, but are you using your experience within the rivalry to help kind of coach these guys through this week and all of that stuff?
Yeah, I think a little bit just about the emotional side of it. Just that idea of saying, hey, we all got friends and family here. We know everybody cares a lot about it, but there's still just all you can do is you prepare, you're ready to work, you're ready to, be committed to the process of what we're doing. And if we just line up and play 60 good minutes of hard hockey, we have a great chance to win. Sometimes we won't, but I just always kind of believe if we really put the work in, the preparation in, and we kind of, really kind of, align with our ideas what we want to be. If we show that on game night, we have a great chance to win, and that'll be good enough for me.
Obviously, getting a sweep in college hockey difficult, especially against a good team like St. Thomas. So coming off of that, what do you want to really see on Friday night from your team to be able to kind of leave that in the past, and obviously it's another tough opponent.
Yeah, great point. You do have to kind of shelf your last weekend wins. We want to take the positives as far as I thought we skated pretty well. We were pressuring pucks. We want to make sure we're checking the score and kind of have a high level of commitment to play away from the puck. But if we manage the puck well and have that high level competitiveness and physicality, those are things we build on. Hopefully our execution can get a little cleaner, and we can have some clean breakouts and clean entries to try to make some skill plays. But if that foundation of the work and the compete and the battle, if we have that, we'll just keep growing on the other stuff. But that was a good start, having some of those foundational kind of pillars to our game.
Did you attend any of these games when you were younger? And if so, what ones do you
Of course I did. I can remember most of them. That old WCHA was awesome. The rivalries were crazy. I remember Ben Blood fighting someone in the handshake line. Yeah, there's a lot of great memories for sure.
How about your own experiences? What is it like to play in one?
It's, very exciting. This is kind of what you dream of when you come play at UND. I got to experience it, obviously, pretty much every year. My freshman year at Minnesota, sophomore year here. Obviously, we didn't play them last year, so I'm really pumped to play them.
What's the building usually like for those games?
Rowdy. I mean, this is what the fans also live for, is this series. So they're bringing it, and because they do, we have to as well.
What do you share with there's a lot of guys on this team who haven't played in it. What have you shared with some of those guys? Have you talked about it at all?
Yeah, of course. I think it's just channeling that excitement and into just playing hard hockey. I think that's what we pride ourselves on at North Dakota, is playing the right way and doing things the right way, kind of just being tough and having that grit. And I think that's kind of just what we're trying to exemplify out there this weekend.
How are you kind of approaching this renewed rivalry, knowing that you've already once played in it before and now it's been a little bit and you're getting back into it?
I think it's a lot of the same. You're kind of approaching most weekends the same. Obviously, you got to treat every team with respect. And I just think kind of with that, there comes a little more probably excitement than most weekends, which you kind of just got to channel that adrenaline and use it.
How do you prepare for a match with that much intensity? I mean, you talked about you guys get rowdy. You talked about watching a game where a guy knock somebody out in the lineup. How do you kind of prepare for an intense rival matchup like this?
You just got to do your thing. I think every weekend you got your own routine that you do, and you're not going to switch it up just for maybe a bigger game than another one. So you obviously, you're coming with maybe a little more excitement, but you're still trying to keep everything the same.
Coach Jackson kind of talked about maybe a little bit more energy on the ice this week with the biggest opponent. You kind of sense that with you and the guys?
For sure. Yeah, I think, we know it's Gopher week, so everyone's excited to get to the rink and just have a good practice.
Jake, what was it like? What are your memories from scoring your first career goal? What was that one like?
Yeah, you kind of hear about the rivalry and leading up to it and everything, and how much it means to the city and the state and everything. And then playing in it was kind of slim to none. There's not a lot of weekends like that in college hockey, and obviously being able to score my first college goal, it was pretty special, and definitely one I won't forget.
It's kind of a weird goal. Do you remember when you realized it went in?
Yeah, I think I was behind the net. And I just saw it laying there. I don't really remember anything after that, but yeah, I just saw it laying in the net, and kind of emotions took over after that.
What was the experience like? What's the building like for a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best atmosphere I've ever played in. Everybody's getting up for it. The entire week leading up to it, you see stuff, you hear stuff throughout, the town and everything, and it's a big weekend here for us, and we just got to focus on ourselves and what we need to do.
What do you share with some of the younger players who, a lot of you guys haven't experienced this rivalry? What have you shared with them? Just
soak it in. There's not a lot of experiences that you're gonna have that kind of compare to this one. It's the best series that you're gonna play in college. And I think you just have to soak it in. You have to look around, and you got to see how many people are here, and how much this means to everybody, not only in our state, but theirs as well.
Kind of looking back on that goal, how special was it for you to get your first goal and to seal the win in a rivalry game? Yeah,
it was awesome. It's kind of hard to put into words, but just looking back, it was super special, and just something you don't forget throughout your hockey career for sure.
Do you feel like that goal kind of impacted your confidence early in your career on the ice?
Yeah. Anytime you can get that first one under the belt, it helps a lot, right? It gives you confidence, and just things you can build on after that. And I think it definitely helped me in my first year.
Is there any extra motivation going into this game, knowing that it's a restored rivalry, the history, how the fan base feels about it?
Yeah, I think it's different around the rink for sure. It's different, around town and everything. You can feel it in the locker room. You can feel it on the ice this week. Everybody's just a little bit more prepared, and there's more compete on the ice. I think we're ready to go, and they're going to be coming in ready to go as well.
What stands out about this rivalry to you? Like, if you had to pick out one piece?
Probably the history. It's just been going on for so long, and how much this means to everybody. And, even Jack's talking about it and everything, and past players, it's just something that, goes a long way back.
I'm curious, are the coaches a little extra intense, like Dane with his history with the rivalry as well this week? Yes and no. I think everybody feels the rivalry coming back and not playing them last year. We obviously want to do the same stuff we do every single week to get prepared. But yeah, you can definitely feel a little bit extra.